So very good morning to all of you. So in today's session, we will see what parallel computing means and why it is useful with suitable example. So let's understand first what exactly it is, okay? So basically, a computer program is just a list of instructions that can be executed, right? That tells a computer what to do. So like steps, if I consider to execute some instructions, we will give one by one and the computer will execute that part. So in a serial execution, if I want to understand the difference between serial execution and parallel execution, I have taken one example of recipe book. So unlike steps in the recipe book that tells me what to do, or when I'm going to cook some dish, then the recipe book tells me what exactly I want to do. Like that, like a computer, I simply follow those instructions to execute the program. So let's understand that part. So to execute the program, what exactly I'm doing? I'm considering the particular instructions, or if I'm consider the program or recipe to make a salad, then what I require first, I will consider the ingredients in that which is to be required to execute the task, right? So here I want to make a salad. So I will start to chopping, right? So first I will take consideration over here, like what are the vegetables I require. So let's understand here that I require cabbage, I require the cucumber, I require the tomato, I require the onion, like that, etc. Right? So for that, the chopping the cabbage and putting into that particular table. Then afterwards, I will slice up the cucumber and then I will add it. Then next, I will slice the particular tomatoes, and then I will execute that particular task. Right. So next, I will slice the tomato, and then I in the full chunks of the particular things we require the onions also, and finally I add the dressing in that. So as a single cook, that means as a single instructor along in the kitchen, I am a single processor. Right. So for the purpose, I'm considering that part that I'm a single processor and I'm executing that task. So basically here, the execution is going to be carried out in this program is a sequential manner. So what exactly it is? It is nothing but the program is broken down into sequence of discrete instructions that I execute one after another, right? Like that, if I want to consider this part, then I will consider that in the sequence of instructions I'm going to execute. So for the purpose, I can execute one after the another one instructions, and I can only execute one instruction at any given moment. So this is, there is nothing to be considered, that there is no overlapping between them, and it is how the software has traditional way it is going to be written, and it's how new programmers are usually taught to code, and because it's easy to understand, but it has its own limitations also. So what exactly it is the limitation, if I want to consider, then the time is taken for a sequential program is to run is limited by the speed of the processor and how fast it can execute that series of instructions. So it will slice and chopping the ingredients as fast as I can. All of those takes by myself, right? So let's understand that part for this particular example, that each step takes some amount of time, and in total, if I want to consider all the instructions which is going to be executed one after another, then I require total time is nothing but 3 minutes to execute this program and makes a salad. That's my personal speed record, and I can't make a salad any faster than that without a particular help, right? So two cooks in the kitchen represents a system with a multiple processor. So with multiple processor, while I'm going to execute that particular task, I just want to consider the parallel execution now. So what exactly it is in the parallel execution? While I chop the cabbage, the other one is slice the cucumber. And when I'm done the chopping the cabbage, Then it will chop the onion, and finally I will add some dressings in that. So now it's ready, the particular recipe which is going to be executed in the into independent parts, right? So for the purpose, what exactly I am performing the task? It is just but simultaneously we can execute the different tasks at the same time with the different processors. So while I was slicing the cucumber and the onion, other person was chopping the cabbage and tomatoes. And the final step of the adding the dressing was dependent on all the previous steps being done. So we have to coordinate with each other for that particular steps, right? So for the purpose, it only took 2 minutes to execute this particular task. So what exactly it is doing? It is faster than the 3 minutes. So the purpose of the parallel execution is that it will be executed that particular task in parallel way. So it requires only 15 seconds. So adding a second cook in a kitchen, the salad twice as fast becomes having a particular extra cooks in the kitchen adds the complexity of the particular program, right? To communicate with each other and to coordinate. This is the most important aspect. So you have to coordinate the action, and then might be time taken for the execute that particular task is required, because the one person is doing the task, the other person doesn't want to wait. So wait for the particular other cook for the others to make that particular parallel programming harder. And because of that, it is going to be considered in this particular parallel execution. So parallel execution increase the overall throughput of the program, which enabling the accomplishment more tasks in a given amount of time, right? So accomplishing a single task faster. Then afterwards, we are considering here some computing problems are so large or even possible to solve them in a single computer. So when we consider the particular task which is given a given time, we have to execute that particular task. So like that, if I want to execute some problems with the help of computing part, then it is required a large and even which is to be considered the what is the task I'm going to execute. So let's example web search engines that process millions of transactions every seconds, one and which is required only possible with the help of this particular parallel computing. Then another example, if I want to add here, in many industries, the time saved using the parallel computing also leads to save the money also. The advantage of being able to solve a problem faster often outweighs the cost of the investing in a parallel computing hardware. So this is all about the difference between the serial execution and parallel execution with the help of example.